your name like a favorite song, soft on my lips where it belongs. But not every melody we find is meant for us to keep. Some hearts we hold in quiet ways, through hidden smiles and crowded days. And love can live without a claim, so silent yet so deep. There's a part of me that's always gonna hope you're okay. I'm yours even if not mine, even if the stars don't align, even if your heart finds home in someone else's eyes. I'm yours in the quiet way, in every word I couldn't say. Loving you without a name, without a right to claim. Yours, even if not mine. Yours beyond the line. I memorize the way you're laughing, like it's something I might lose. Every small and fleeting moment I didn't get to choose. Maybe in another lifetime we would meet at the right time. But here we are in different chapters, different pages, same rhyme. And I won't turn my love to bitterness or let it turn to pride. Some hearts are meant to teach us how to love without a sigh. I'm yours even if not mine, even if we never cross that line, even if I fade to memory in the story of your life. I'm yours in a silent prayer, in every breath of midnight air. Loving you without possession, without needing you there. Yours for a lifetime, yours for a lifetime. If someday you need a shoulder, if someday you feel alone, I hope you feel there's someone who once loved you like their own. Not to hold you, not to bind you, not to keep you from your sky, but to wish you all the happiness, even if it's not with mine. No blame, no tear, no demand for more, just love that stands outside the door. I'm yours even if not mine, even if I'm left behind, even if your forever was never meant with mine. I'm yours in the gentle way that doesn't need you to stay, because loving place another time. If love is real, it never dies. It just learns to redefine. I used to think that love meant holding tight, never letting go, never losing sight. Like if I loosened up my hands, you'd disappear into the night. But love began to teach me slow, through every high and every low, that hearts don't bloom inside a cage, and rivers don't refuse to flow. We were fire in a quiet room, lighting shadows on the wall. Every touch felt like forever, every whisper felt like a call. But somewhere in between the dreaming and the fear of being alone, I almost turned my love for you into something overgrown. I felt the weight of my own doubt, the need to keep you close somehow. But love is not about control, it's about the here and now. Love doesn't need to own, it doesn't need to change. It's not about pleasure or skeletons from pain. Love doesn't need to claim every breath you take. If it's real, it will remain, even if hearts break. Love doesn't need to own. Love just needs to grow. I watched you chasing bigger skies, with courage in your eyes. And I was scared that if you flew, you'd leave me far behind. But love is not a locked door, or a vow carved into stone. It's standing strong beside someone without calling them your own. I'm learning how to trust the space between your soul and mine. If we're meant to walk together, we will need a binding line. Love doesn't need a own, it doesn't need a tie. It's not about a prison disguised as your mind. Love doesn't need a cage, every dream you hold, if it's true, it won't dissolve when hands no longer fall. Love doesn't need to own. Love just needs to grow, 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 grow. If you choose a different road, I won't call it betrayal. If I love you, I'll respect every wind inside your sail. And if you stay, it will be free, not because you're bound to me, but because your heart decided this is where it wants to be. No fear, no claim, no forever carved in stone. Just two souls choosing daily without being known. Love doesn't need a own, it doesn't need a crown. It's not about holding someone, it's not about tying them down. Love doesn't need to win or mark territory. It's two hearts standing open, writing their own story. Love doesn't need to own. Love just needs to grow. Let it breathe, let it flow. Love doesn't need to own. return like sunshine after rain. I don't wanna hold you like a secret or keep you locked inside my hands. I don't want a love that's built on fear or written with demands. If you're here, I want it honest. If you stay, let it be true. Not because you feel you have to, but because you want to. I've seen love turn into a shadow when it's wrapped in jealousy. Hearts go heavy under pressure when they lose the air to breathe. I don't wanna dim your daylight just to make you stay with me. I'd rather stand in open silence than force what shouldn't be. So take your time, don't rush your heart. Let it wander if it must. If it finds its way back to me, I'll know it's built on trust. I wanna be free to love you, free to let you fly, free to hold you close at night without asking why. Free to love you gently without a hidden chain. If you walk beside me, let it not be out of pain. I wanna be free to love you, no cages, no control, just two open hearts choosing the same road. Free to love you. Free to love you. You shine brighter when you're fearless, when you're chasing your own dreams. And I don't wanna be the reason you feel torn at the seams. If someday you need new horizons, if your compass points away, I'll still be proud I knew your fire, even if you couldn't stay. Love that's real won't beg or bargain, won't demand a guarantee. It simply stands in quiet strength and says, come if you want me. I wanna be free to love you, free to let you grow, free to watch your spirit find the paths you need to know. Free to love you softly without possessions claim. If you choose to hold my hand, let it not be out of shame. I wanna be free to love you, no fear of being alone. If you stay, it's because your heart feels like it's home. Free to love you. Free to love you. And if the world pulls us in different ways, if seasons change our view, I'll never say you owe me love or that your heart's not true. Because the purest form of loving is brave enough to say, I'd rather lose you honestly than keep you forced to stay. No locks, no chains, no desperate plea, just love that stands in dignity. If your heart comes back to mine, I'll know the reason why. I never thought goodbye could feel this gentle, like autumn leaves that fall without a fight. No broken glass, no screaming in the silence, just two hearts fading out of sight. We try to hold what time was slowly taking. We try to heal what distance made undone. Now I'm standing in the quiet of acceptance, knowing loving you was never wrong. I remember how your laughter filled my mornings, how your shadow used to dance beside mine. Every promise that we whispered in the darkness felt eternal at the time. Consolation of old stars, I'm letting you go with grace, though it breaks me deep inside. If loving you means setting you free, then I'll love you and step aside, letting you go with love, letting you go with love. There were nights we almost saved it, there were tears we couldn't hide. We kept building fragile bridges over oceans growing wide. I don't regret the way I held you, or the way you held me too. Some stories aren't meant for forever, but they still feel true. I won't rewrite our history, or pretend we didn't try. Some goodbyes are soft and sacred, even when they make us cry. I'm letting you go with love, not with bitterness or pride. I'll keep the warmth of every moment like a fire I won't deny. I'm letting you go with grace, though my heart still calls your name. If love is more than just possession, then freeing you is not a shame. Letting you go with love, letting you go with love. Maybe someday we'll look back smiling at the way our worlds align. Two souls meeting for a chapter, not the rest of time. And if you find a better future, I hope it shines in gold. I'll be grateful that I knew you more than you could ever know. No chains, no blame, no shadows Just gratitude and open skies and peace within my mind. I'm letting you go with love, like a prayer into the night. May every road you walk from here be filled with gentle light. I'm letting you go with grace, even if it's hard to prove that the purest kind of loving is knowing when to lose. Letting you go with love, letting you go with love, with love, with love, with love. I'm letting you go with love, not with anger, not with scars. I'll keep the light we found together, like a constellation of old stars. I never said the word out loud. They trembled on my tongue, afraid that if I let them go, they change what we've become. So I keep them in the quiet, where they safely stay, hidden in the spaces between the things we say. I watch the way you smile at stories I don't know, standing just beside you, but feeling so alone. You speak about your future like I'm not in the frame, and every time you say that name, my heart won't do the same. But love doesn't always need a voice, it doesn't need applause. Sometimes it lives in steady beats without a stated cause. I'm loving you in silence, in shadows out of sight, holding all these feelings through every sleepless night. Loving you in silence, without a single sign, smiling like I'm fine while breaking inside. Loving you inside, where your heart is in mine, where your heart is in mine. I memorize the little things, the way you brush your hair, the softness in your laughter, floating through the air. I almost tell you sometimes when we're lost in midnight talks, but fear builds quiet walls around the truth that never walks. If I confess, I risk it all, the comfort that we know. So I choose to keep my heart in a place you'll never go. I'm loving you in silence, no promises to break, no fragile expectations. silence when my words won't begin. Beneath this calm, how I've been fighting storms with a steady open palm. No confession, no goodbye, just the truth I let lie. I'm loving you in silence, even if it's unfair, even if my heart is more than you can bear. Yeah, loving you in silence, with every breath I hide, choosing quiet devotion over wounded pride. Loving you in silence until the feeling fades or stays. Loving you in silence. In shadows out of sight. Holding all these feelings. Through another guided night. There's a silence in between us, like a wave before it breaks. I can feel the tension rising in every breath we take. We're standing on a thin line between forever and unknown, still reaching for each other, but feeling so alone. We built our world on whispered promises, on late night dreams and fragile hope. But somewhere in the space between, we slowly lost the road. I keep replaying all the moments, trying to fix what's come undone. But love can't live inside a memory of who we used to be as one. I'm torn between the fear of losing when you say my name at night, and I can feel your spirit drifting like a bird in silent flight. I don't want a love that's fading, held together out of fear. I'd rather face a lonely morning than keep you halfway here. If love is real, it won't be forced, it won't survive on borrowed time. And if your heart is somewhere else, I won't pretend you're mine. I'm holding on, letting go, standing in afterglow of everything we used to be and everything we'll never know. I'm holding on, letting go, with trembling hands and open eyes. If loving you means freeing you, I'll let you chase your sky. Holding on, letting go. Maybe we were meant to meet, but not designed to stay. Maybe love can still be pure, even when it walks away. I'll keep the warmth, release the pain. I won't turn sweet into regret. Some goodbyes are made of grace, not anger we forget. No blame, no fight, no need to prove. Just two hearts learning when to lose. I'm holding on, letting go, with every tear that falls, choosing pieces above the fear of empty bedroom walls. I'm holding on to what was real, letting go of what can't grow, because sometimes love is stronger when you choose to let it go. Holding on, letting on. I'm holding on, letting go, letting go. I'm holding on, letting go, between the light and shadow. If love is meant to find its way, it will come back tomorrow. I never thought I'd learn to love you, with oceans in between. No touch, no whisper, midnight, just memories on a screen. Your voice arrives like summer through the silence of my room, and even miles can't stop my heart from blooming when you bloom. We trace our dreams through phone calls, through static and delay, counting down the days we hope won't always feel this way. Different skies above us, different morning star, but every time I close my eyes, you're right here in my heart. Distance tests the fragile, it bends but doesn't break. If love is truly steady, no space is too great. This is love from a distance, falling without touch, holding on through silence when the nights feel too much. Love from a distance, cross the time and space. Even if I can't hold you, I still feel your embrace. Love from a distance, stronger than resistance. I miss the way you laugh beside me, not through a speaker's tone. I miss the warmth of simple moments we've never fully known. But love is more than presence, more than skin on skin. It's knowing someone's soul and letting them within. We don't need the same horizon to believe in what we are. Some hearts stay connected, no matter how far. This is love from a distance, learning how to trust, building something patient out of hope and dust. Love from a distance, through every lonely phase. We're riding out forever in separate time zones haze. Love from a distance, beyond the circumstance. And if the road feels endless, if doubt begins to rise, I remember why we started and the truth within your eyes. One day these miles will fade away like footprints in the sand, and all the nights we waited will finally make sense in our hands. No borders, no walls, 'cause silence was true. My heart knows the rhythm, still beating for you. This is love from a distance, it's patient and strong. It survives the quiet when days feel long. Love from a distance, no matter where we stand. If two hearts stay open, they'll always understand. Love from a distance, faith over resistance. Love from a distance, across the silent night, even miles between us can't dim this light.